Welcome to Module 10 of the Self-Directed Employment Planning Training. This module is called Getting the Help You Need by Hiring Individual Employment Supports. My name is Claire. I'm a self-advocate from Madison, Wisconsin. I will be your narrator for this module. In this module, you will learn about another way that you can get the support you need to carry out your employment support plan. You can use self-directed supports to hire one or more people to help you with different parts of your employment support planning process. These people are sometimes called individual employment supports. If you know that you want to work with an employment support agency rather than hire your own people to provide your employment supports at this time, then you may want to skip this module. However, if you are not sure whether you want to hire an agency or an individual, this module can help you decide. There is a section in the workbook that goes with Module 10. After you go through this module, you can use the workbook to answer the questions and continue to create your plan for employment. There is also a section in the resource guide that goes with this module. If you have not downloaded the workbook or resource guide yet, click on the Resources tab on the right-hand corner of the screen to download the workbook before you go through this module. Self-directed support, or SDS, in long-term care allows you to choose hire and supervise people to provide you with the support you need to live and work in the community. With SDS, you become the employer of your support staff. You can designate or work with someone to help you manage the day-to-day activities of your employee or employees. In Wisconsin, self-directed support is available through the IRS program, as well as the Family Care Program. Self-directed support can provide you with more choices and more authority than you may not otherwise have with more traditional services. This kind of control and authority also comes with responsibilities. You will learn about the responsibilities involving and supervising your support staff. Using SDS, some people may need help from guardians or trusted family members or friends to be self-directed. But anyone, regardless of disability, can self-direct their supports. If you want to use SDS for individual employment supports, there are 7 main steps that you should know about. These are: 1. Creating a job description for your support workers. 2. Deciding on how much you will pay for support. 3. Strategies for recruiting support workers. 4. Interviewing and picking your support workers. 5. Creating a service agreement. 6. Providing training to your support workers. And 7. Supervising your support workers. If you want to hire individual employment supports to help you with your employment goal, it will be very important to think about your employment goals. You should think carefully about exactly what you want a support person or people to do for you to help you get to your goal. For example, you may need help exploring your work options so that you can determine what you want to do. Some support people you might meet might be very good at some parts of the employment planning process, such as assessment and or job development. But these same people may or may not have the knowledge or experience you need to provide job training or ongoing support after you start your job. Through this training, you should have taken the time to think about the parts of employment planning that you will need help with. If you plan to hire individual employment supports, the next step is to think about the qualities you want the person or people to have who are helping you. For example, is it more important to you that they have a lot of experience or that they are very enthusiastic about the work they will do with you? Or do you want both? Do you want someone who lives close to you so you can meet often? Or are you okay with telephone calls and emails? Do you want to find someone who knows a lot of people in the community so that they can help you network and connect to others? Do you want someone who is outgoing, has sales skills, or has teaching and training experience? These are some of the things you will want to consider. You may also have other preferences for the people you work with. Once you have thought about the specific parts of the employment process that you need help with and the qualities of the person or people you want to work with, the next step is to create a job description. Your individual employment support's job description should include the job title for the position, the general expectations and job duties the support staff will have, the number of hours per week and the schedule if you have one in mind, the hourly wage or amount you plan to pay the support staff, a list of the experience and qualifications you are looking for, and training that may be available or required for the person. In the resource guide, you will find a couple of example job descriptions. You can use these to get ideas, but the job description you create will probably look different. After creating your job description, you will need to decide how much you will pay the support staff. How much you can pay your staff person is based on the resources or budget available to you. You should work with your IRS consultant or family care service coordinator to figure this out. They may have suggestions or written guidance about the amount you can pay, the different kinds of staff you have. You may also want to consider training options for the person you decide to hire. A person that you know and want to hire might have the positive attitude and enthusiasm you want, but might not know the more technical information about how to help people with disabilities find and keep jobs. You can use part of your SDS budget to pay for staff training. More information about training options for individual employment supports will be presented later in this module. There are different ways you can recruit and hire your individual employment support providers. If you are working with Family Care or IRIS, you have some options you can ask about. These include hiring individual employment supports directly using the fiscal employer agent model, or using a co-employment option, where you share responsibility with an agency to recruit, hire, and supervise the people who support you. The person you work with from your long-term care program should be able to explain these options to you. Once you have written a job description and learned how you can hire your support staff, the next thing to do is to create an advertisement for the position and begin the process of looking for one or more people to hire. When you are advertising, you'll need to include a job title, general job duties, number of hours per week, pay, and how they should contact you for an interview. An example of an advertisement for an employment support specialist in the resource guide. You do not have to use that job title or make your advertisement look just like the example. The important thing is to take the time to think carefully about what you need help with, the qualities and qualifications you're looking for, and the amount of money you have available to pay someone. That information should be reflected in both the job description and the advertisement. After creating your ad with the support of your planning team, you can give it to people you know to help you find someone. For example, if you have a case manager from an MCO or an IRS consultant, either of those people can help advertise your available employment support specialist position through their network. In addition, you may have a DVR counselor, family member, or support person from another part of your life who can help you if you are still in school or recently graduated. Your teacher or other school personnel might be able to help too. You can post your ad on community boards around town. These can be found at libraries, grocery stores, community centers, coffee shops, and convenience stores. Most communities have one or more newspapers that advertise jobs. You can submit your ad to one or more of these newspapers in your area. Advertising through newspapers will cost money. If you are working with a long-term care program, these costs can be covered, and the long-term care program is part of your support and services plan. Another way that you can advertise is post your advertisement online. The Wisconsin Job Network is an online resource for advertising jobs. You should also ask your team about other online job supports and recruiting sites. After you place your ad, people who are interested in the position will contact you, or the person you designated in the ad as a contact person. You will need to get information, maybe in the form of an application or a resume, and have interviews with these people. If you are working with Family Care or IRS, they should have given you the resources and told you about the process. You will need to go through to hire the support person that you chose. It is wise to plan out how you will interview people before you place your ad. One of the best ways to plan for an interview is to develop a set of interview questions that you want to ask. If your goal is to get a job working for someone else, the interview questions you ask will be different than the questions you ask if you want to be self-employed. You should start each interview by introducing yourself and provide an explanation of your goals and what is important to you. Possible interview questions can be found in the resource guide. You can copy and use this template during interviews if you want to do that. You do not have to use the sample questions we have provided. You might have other questions in mind that are more important to you. If that is the case, then you should think about those questions and write them down as you prepare to interview people. Once you choose the person or people you will hire to help you with your employment goal, it is wise to work with that person or people to create a service agreement. This agreement should summarize your expectations for the person as well as the responsibilities that you will have during the process of working with them. It is important to remember that the relationships you have with your individual employment support people are business relationships. The person or people will be getting paid to provide you with the support you want and need to find employment or start your business. As you learned in Module 8, you can choose to work with individual employment supports or agencies on some or all parts of the process to get to your employment goal. Given that this is a business relationship, an agreement can help everyone, including you, to stay on track and complete steps on a timely manner. Whether you are looking for a job where you will work for someone else or you plan to start your own business, it can take some time to reach your goal. It can take even longer, however, if you and your support team members are not working well together. Each person must do their part to keep the process moving along. An agreement can be as simple as one page of the information that you have discussed with the person prior to hiring them to work with you. Some important parts of the agreement should include when they will begin working with you, how much they will be paid, a list of the tasks they will help you complete, training that they will need to work with you most effectively, timelines for each task, a list of the person or people responsible for completing each task, you too, a tentative schedule of meetings to check in and discuss progress, a description of what will happen if timelines are not met within reason, and an end date to the contract. This is the date when a new agreement will be created or when the relationship will stop. A sample service agreement is in the resource guide. As with the interview questions, you may want your agreement to be different. That is okay. You do not have to have a service agreement, but it's a good idea to have one. When you hire a person or people to help you with your employment search process, you may make your hiring decision based on criteria other than experience and training. Or you may choose to hire someone to help you with all 4 parts of the process, even though they only have training and experience in 2 or 3 of them. That is okay. As you learned earlier, it is possible for the person you hire to get additional training. For example, you might want your employment support staff person to learn about business plan writing or job training using systematic instruction. There are a number of other topics that you might feel are important to you. You can make a training plan part of the service agreement you create, or you can have a separate training plan. Training opportunities exist in Wisconsin for employment service professionals and for individual employment supports. There are also online training options and resources that you can pull together to create a training plan that gets your individual employment support person up to speed on how to provide the support you need. In the resource guide, you will find a section for individual employment support training options. You can work with your team to plan out how you will provide training for the people you hire. Some of these trainings may cost money. The costs to provide training to your individual employment support staff can be covered by your long-term care program service plan. Once you choose your support staff, complete the paperwork to hire them and provide necessary training. You will need to supervise them. Supervising your staff involves making it clear what their responsibilities are, setting day-to-day expectations, and talking with them about how they are doing on the job. You can supervise your staff with help from a family member or representative. You should also create a backup plan in case your staff person is not available. Talk with your long-term care program staff to create your backup plan. Be sure to check out the websites featured in Section 10 of the resource guide. Find, choose, and keep great DSPS tips is a set of booklets that provide excellent guidance to people with disabilities and their family members on how to recruit, hire, and keep direct support staff. while this booklet is geared toward general support staff, not employment-specific support, most of the information still applies. You can change the templates to fit your needs. Sometimes things go smoothly during the employment planning process, but sometimes things happen along the way that slow the process down. Sometimes things happen that are not expected and that you have no control over. However, it is reasonable for you to expect that the timelines for tasks related to your employment support planning do not get too far off track due to too many unexpected issues with your individual employment support staff. Generally, the person you hire should follow through on the things they say they are going to do for you. If they do not, then you may need to go through a process to find out why things are not getting done and why you are not making progress in your employment search. It is important to make sure that you are also completing the tasks assigned to you. If you become unhappy with the supports that you are receiving, then it is wise to work with your planning team to consider the reasons why you are not happy. Then you will want to meet with your individual employment support person to discuss the reasons why you are not happy. It is a very good idea to have other people with you, like a friend, family member, or the person from your long-term care program at the meeting, so that the other people hear what you have to say. If a period of time goes by, typically 6 months or more, when you are not pleased with the progress you are making, and you feel that it is because one or more people you have hired are not following through on tasks or supporting you in the way that you had planned, then you may need to let that person go. You may want to give that staff person 2 weeks' notice or more so that you can begin searching for a replacement. Check with your long-term care program for guidance on terminating support staff. Congratulations! You have completed the 10th module of the Self-Directed Employment Planning series. Now it is time to answer the questions for this section in your workbook and explore some of the resources for this section listed in the resource guide.